Hello there, it's Renee again, and we are still in appetizers one more time. Have I got a fun appetizer recipe for you this time? I'm making my sweet and sassy tomato onion jam, which is actually kind of a neat recipe for me because it's something that my grandma used to make. Don't have a recipe for it at all because sadly the recipe went with her, but it's kind of made me think that's one of the reasons that this contest is so important, because look how many great family heirloom recipes are being cataloged now. So I think it's kind of cool, and I think Grandma would be pretty proud right now. So sweet and sassy tomato onion jam starts with nice Roma tomatoes. You don't have to use Roma as long as you use a nice ripe tomatoes. You're going to be okay. Cream cheese is coming a little bit later, so don't worry. It's definitely going to be coming in the mix. I'm so excited about this recipe. This recipe is one that makes my mouth so happy. It's just, you get that little bit of sweet, you get that little bit of spicy, you get a little bit of heat from the jalapenos, and it's awesome. I hope you really like it. So, alright, you want to take your nice ripe tomato. I've done a few of them already, and you can get the whole recipe on the web page. But what I do is I start by coring it or cutting off the end. Roma tomatoes don't have a deep core, so if you're using Romas, you can just kind of snip off the end. And then I like to seed mine, even though there's not too many seeds in the Romas. I like to seed mine, but just like a cursory seeding, check this out. Cut it in half like this, and then you can kind of see the seed pods here. Take it and put it over a bowl. Squeeze one and scrape. Squeeze the other one and scrape. And look, you have most of your seeds and quite a bit of juice gone. Then what I'm going to do is cut this in quarters, just like that, and pop it in the pot. I'm going to do that one more time in case you didn't see it good the first time. You want to cut off the end just like that. Cut it in half, horizontally, halfway this way. Give it a squeeze and a scrape, another squeeze and a scrape, and check it out. Most of the seeds are in the bowl. It's going to give your jam a really nice consistency. This one doesn't cook as long as maybe a lot of them do, so you want to eliminate some of the liquid from the get-go if you can. So it's not something that you have to do, but it is a nice way to give it a nice thick, jammy consistency. So, alright, next thing that we're going to do, and I'm just going to pull this pot over so you can see, is add the rest of the ingredients. Everything basically goes in all at once. So I'm going to put in the onion, about a half a cup or so. I'm going to put in brown sugar, which I think is one of my secret ingredients. Brown sugar goes in. White sugar goes in. You can't have it too sweet as far as I'm concerned. A little bit of lemon juice. This is a juice from about half a lemon, or I'm going to say about 2 tablespoons, give or take a little bit, in case you don't have fresh lemons and you want to use lemon juice. You can also use lime juice for this, actually, which is really good. Next thing I'm going to add in is the fresh ginger, and I'm going to show you a little bit of how I do ginger. I just buy a knuckle or whatever from the grocery store, and then I use a microplane type grater, but you can use any type of a grater, or you could chop it or mince it or put it through a garlic press. And I usually just wash the outside of it and run it along the grater like this. And I'm going to measure in, this kind of fell off here, I want to measure in about 2 teaspoons or so I can just kind of scrape that right off the back like this. Measure in my 2 teaspoons or so, and you're all set to go. And I do like to use fresh ginger with this. If you don't have fresh ginger, you can use about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of dried ginger. That would be a pretty good guesstimate on this. Alright, next thing to go in, allspice and salt. Allspice keeps it that little sweet flavor, and the salt perks it up a little bit. Then we need to add some jalapenos. Now, little jalapeno lesson here. BH jalapeno, that stands for big honkin'. Average size jalapeno, and baby jalapeno. When I'm talking jalapenos, I'm talking the medium size, the mama bear size right there. So you can put in 1 or 2 of these. I have a tendency to like things a little bit on the spicy side, so I'm going to put in 2, and on one of them, I'm going to leave the seeds in and just kind of chop it up a little bit like this. This will definitely cook down as it's cooking. You can also cook it super fine. However, if you like your jams and that type of thing a little more on the mild side, you can work around the seeds and the membrane, which holds most of the heat or the capsaicin, by doing it this way. always buy it with a stem. Cut off the bottom so it lays nice and flat. It's also a safety feature when you do this too. And then I'm going to cut right around the seed pod like this. Just like that. And then peel away that last piece, and then guess what? Seed pod and membrane, everything is intact. My cutting board's not a mess, and I can control the heat a little bit. So we're going to chop these up. You can chop them up fine if you want it super mild, or if you like it a little bit on the spicy side, you can leave it a little bit coarse. So these are going to go in the pot too. Usually I chop them up a little bit finer, but we're in a little time crunch today. So bring it over to the stove right here, and I'm going to put this on about a medium to a medium-high temperature and bring it to a boil. I'm going to reduce the heat a little bit and let it cook at about a medium simmer, which is just below a boil, for about 20 to 25 minutes until it's thick and jammy. And then what we have is a beautiful, thickened, spicy, sassy, savory tomato jam. Now you want to know where the cream cheese comes in? Check this out. Very simple. A brick of our Star Philadelphia cream cheese. Again, I'm using regular, but you can use a low fat. And all I do for an average presentation is just open up the brick. Sometimes easier said than done. Open up the brick like this. And I just kind of lay it right smack dab in the middle like this. And then take some of your jam, and most of the time it's still a little bit on the warm side, and just spoon it right over top like this. Doesn't that look awesome? Then I take whatever my favorite crackers are of the day and just kind of line them up. There you go. And dress it around. If you're having lots of company, you could take them all the way around. And then I have a little collection of spreaders, and I love this one because it looks like a little jalapeno. And it kind of lets everybody know that, yeah, there may be a little spice to this. Or you can take your top of your jalapeno with a stem on it and just kind of pop it in the middle like that. That way everybody knows, yeah, that's got a little heat to it. To eat this, take your cracker. You want to take a swoop of cream cheese, a little bit of jam, and eat. But wait, there's more. I'm coming back to that. You can bet I'm coming back to that. A different presentation is to take some softened cream cheese, like this, mix in about a half to 3/4 of a cup of jam, like this, stir it up like this. And this is going to mix in really nice and make it super creamy, super rich. If you had a whisk, it goes a little bit quicker, but I'm going to use my spreading tool with it today. Just like that. Then you want to take it, put it on your favorite serving tray, spread it around just like this. And then what I usually want to do is let people know, hey, the crackers go with this, or the tortilla chips go with this. So what I do is I put a tortilla chip right in the middle like this, maybe a couple of them around. I may put a little jalapeno in here to let people know it's got a little kick to it. This way everybody knows that the tortilla chips go with this step, until some yahoo goes through, eats the tortilla chip, and then you're back to square one. But hey, you brought your sweet and sassy tomato onion jam. So give it a try. I think you'll like it. Take care.